Hello, this is Malorian, and now this will be a 50-point game of my Bethany versus Reznik. So I was really looking forward to this game. I'm loving this new caster I have, Bethany and Belphegor, and my first game with her didn't go so hot, eked out a win, and meanwhile this guy I'm against, Reznik, he's the guy that went and beat my epic Thagrush for the first time. So I really want to get revenge on him, but we'll see how it goes. I know how deadly he can be, but hopefully I can be using some of my tricks to pull off a win. Alright, so again, this is caster kill. Just so you know, whenever I'm against this opponent, we just try and keep things simple because we don't really have any of the markers here at his house or anything. So, plain old caster kill. And then for my side, on the far left, I have my Black Frost Shard, I have a Nissa Rivel, I have my Hex Hunters, a Shredder, then there is Bethany there, my Nephilim Protector, I have a Seraph, Arcanivian, then there is Belphegor, and on the far right you can see all my Raptors. Now on his side it's pretty hard to tell what things are, but I got the list here. So in there of course he has Reznik, he has the Fire of Salvation, he has the Repenter, Castigator, Hierophant, Max Incinerators up there in the front, Min Choir, Max Zealots there on the right with the UA, and then there's some Knights Exemplars behind them, and some Knights Exemplars on the far left. Then he has the Reclaimer, the Covenant, and also the Vassal Mechanic in there. So looking at this, I was really looking forward to my Raptors being able to try and kill off those Zealots before they get to do their whole Russian attack. So loving how that matchup is. I think that my Hex Hunters will be able to destroy those Incinerators, and then just my Black Frost Shard and Anissa, who is actually going to be making a prey of the left Knights Exemplars, picking them off. And really, once those little critical things are taken care of, I don't care if my Hex Hunters die. I have now everything in place that I can be surrounding him and picking him apart. So that's the plan, but plans tend to fall apart quickly, so we'll see. And here's just a close-up of his army here, just so you can try and tell where everything is. So, another blurry first turn picture. I guess I'm always just in a rush to get gaming, but anyway, really nothing to be said here. He's just moving up, not really changing positions. He had thought for a while that the Knights Exemplar on the left should be marching across to get to the right side, but given how there's going to be some restricted movement here, he just decides just to move up. My turn one, things are really just getting into position, getting off the Ashen Veil on my Hex Hunters, getting off the Animus on my Carnivian, and really the real damage came from my Raptors, which already got to kill off a good number of his Zealots. So that's fantastic, and hopefully next turn after he moves up I can really put on some hurt. So his turn two, pretty simple stuff. He just really advances. He got kind of bogged down. He wanted Reznik to be farther forward, but because of doing his choir and his covenant and stuff like that first, he actually kind of bogged himself down, and it ended up that he didn't have enough room to do anything. So I'm loving how far back he is, and to me that just means I have another turn to try and pick off all of his troops and things. Plus I'm pretty sure that this next turn will be a perfect one to be pulling off my feet. So that's what I do, is I pull off my feet, move up my Hex Hunters. They go and they kill all of the Incinerators except for one, make a mess of the Exemplars on the left. The Black Frost Shard kill more of them, as well as with Anissa. In fact, I think they are all dead right now. Then what Bethany did is she transferred through Belphegor to do some Eruption of the Spines into his Zealots, killing a whole bunch there. Then the Raptors moved up, shot up them and mainly the Exemplars on the right, and then four of them moved back, one of them moving up just to try and tie them into combat. What he had done is he had moved up his Fire of Salvation, and in doing so I was able to go and just charge it and destroy it with the Carnivian. So that was a bit of a mistake on his part for sure, and otherwise, man, this is just looking fantastic. So his turn 3 didn't really get too much done. Something I should also say is that my prey target is now on to Reznik himself. On the right, the Exemplars come in and they kill that one Raptor. The Repenter comes in, sprays in, kills a couple of my what do you call them, the Hex Hunters, and then otherwise stuff just moved in and is kind of just bunching together. So last turn I forgot to say he also popped his feet, so I couldn't really get much done this turn. So really the Raptors just went in on the right, killed a few guys. Hex Hunters pulled back other than where they're tying up the one guy there. Same with the Nephilim Protector, it went up. I really tried killing that last Incinerator, but I just wasn't able to do it. And then otherwise I was just picking off a few of his solos there on the right and with the Nissa Rival. His turn 4, not really much done here. You know, he kills that one Hex Hunter that was up there blocking his way. He kills my one Shredder. And yeah, that's really all he's able to get done. Now, my turn 4, and actually one of the things I should be really saying here is actually this was a very scary moment. He'd really messed up the Nephilim Protector. He was on fire. He actually died from fire, so that's why you're not seeing him here. And actually, Anissa, or Bethany was also on fire, and so she's almost dead, and so she had to hop inside Belphegor. So she's inside there right now. That effect goes away. And then otherwise, I just go up, I kill off more of his solos, kill off that last Incinerator. The Carnivian is waiting there to counter, as is the Seraph, just shooting things up. I destroyed the Repenter this turn, and again the Raptors are just slowly grinding down on the right side. His turn 5, this actually really surprised me. So he goes in this, must be called the Castigator, moves up, pretty much lights those Hex Hunters on fire, kills a bunch of them. Then Reznik uses this ability, the one that makes him super tough and fast and stuff, and he basically just walks around the building and attacks my Carnivian and rips him up. Now, luckily for me, even though my Carnivian is dead, that took up all of his focus, so he's sitting right there to be countered. Now, I almost fell into his trap here, because first I wanted to go over and get some shots with my Hex Hunters, and so my Black Frost Shard went and finished off his book, and then that's where I remembered, wait a second, if I cast magic on his battle group, he gets to move and attack, so screw that. Shot him up with the Seraph, shot him up with the Raptors, one died from a free strike, and then he just kind of moved back in, and then Belphegor with Bethany inside just moved up and slam, that was it for the rest, and he was dead. So victory to Bethany and to Everblight, and I really don't know what to say. I think it was just a really good matchup for me. I was able to pick apart his thing. I just love the tool set. You know, that's a word that's thrown around with some of the Privateer Press guys, that I just loved this tool set. It seemed like I had everything I needed to kind of pick away his army. I was only just kind of surprised at just how well I picked apart his army, and eventually he was left with nothing, and I was just circling around him and finishing him off. So probably a pretty frustrating game for my opponent. You know, I know what it feels like to be picked apart like that. But hey, I'm liking it, so I hope you liked watching it too. Thanks, bye.